Let's face it, folks, polls recently have shown that President Biden is facing a very tough path to re-election. And because of that, people are starting to freak out a little bit. The White House doesn't seem to be freaking out. I don't know if they're just not paying attention to the polls or if they don't believe them, but they're acting like these poll numbers, ones that show Trump beating Biden in the swing states, others that show Trump beating Biden nationally, and of course Biden's terrible approval rating. White House just doesn't seem to care. But the voters do. And recently, I posted asking for questions for a Q&A session, and I want to address one of those questions right now. In fact, actually two of those questions, because a lot of people ask the same thing. So let me read these two. First one is from Donovan Finley, 8131, which, by the way, thank you, Donovan. I think every time I do a Q&A, I see your name, so thank you for being an active participant. Donovan Finley asks, is President Biden actually in danger of losing re-election? I get that most of the polls show a tight race, but I think Biden's done a decent job, and he's definitely better than that guy with 91 charges against him. Then another question from the awesome Chris 6354, who asked basically the same thing. He says, do you think President Biden will defeat Trump in next year's election? You're very well versed on these issues. What do you think the odds are of Biden being reelected? I'm also a huge fan of your channel. Well, thank you very much, guys. So here's the thing. Like y'all both pointed out, like polls are bad. The polls are bad for Biden, but the polls are also bad. Think back, not the most recent New York Times poll that says, oh God, Trump's beating Biden in 5 of the 6 swing states. Think of the New York Times poll before that. That's like, oh my God, Trump's beating Biden by like 20 points among young voters. Like, that's not true. It turns out that that first New York Times poll that had the really horrible results for Biden, they oversampled Republicans. In fact, 60%, according to what I've seen, about 60% of the respondents identified as Republican or Republican leaning. So right off the bat, that is not a representative sample of the United States. That poll is trash. Second poll, I do not necessarily have that kind of information yet, but I don't see how that's possible. You know, I can't say for sure that Biden's easily going to cruise to re-election. The polls obviously don't show that. Unless Trump gets convicted, then all those 5 swing states flip to Biden, and then he easily wins re-election. And I do think Trump will get a couple convictions, at least, out of all of this. However, back to the point here. Recent elections have shown that these polls are garbage. You got Democrats winning in red states. You've got liberal policy issues winning on the ballot in red states. So the polls are showing us one thing. Oh, be scared. Look at all this horrible crap here. And then when we see the election results, it's like, oh, okay, wow, Democrats are actually overperforming. Huh. So there is some kind of disconnect here. A disconnect between what voters are actually doing, which is the only thing that matters, versus what voters are allegedly telling the pollsters. And I say allegedly because think of it this way. If this 2024 presidential race was just already a blowout by President Biden, right? If Biden was just crushing it in the polls and everything showed he was going to win no matter what, do you know what that de-incentivizes people to do? De-incentivizes, however it is. They don't read the news as much, right? Like you're not going to be tuning into CNN to see, oh God, like how close is it today? Oh Lord, oh God. The media has to have a horse race. And if one horse is ahead by however they measure horse races, I don't know. But if you're like, oh, well, that horse is like 2 laps ahead of everybody, of course he's going to win. I don't need to watch this. But if they're neck and neck, it's going to be a photo finish, folks. Oh my God, you're on the edge of your seat. Holy crap, what's going to happen? Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. You're glued to the TV. You're glued to the media outlets watching the horse race. That's what the media needs. So that's why the media hypes up these polls. And that's why they ask questions in such a way that the results become misleading because of the way the questions are asked. Look, as a political science major in college, we took courses on political polling. We know that polls can be easily manipulated. Change one word in a question here, change one word there. Suddenly, you get different results because people get a little bit confused. I'm not saying that polling is 100% unreliable, but I am saying that for the last, what's it been, 8 years? Polling has been wildly unreliable. So I think We need to be on guard. I don't think we should ever be relaxed and comfortable, but I definitely don't think it's time to panic. Hey everyone, this is Aspen. And did you know that for the low cost of $0 per day, you can subscribe to the Fair and Balanced YouTube channel? We also encourage you to like, comment, and share, but again, click that subscribe button and help Aspen not be so grumpy.